How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. Today, I want to share with you a handful of resources that I think every RV owner should know about them. It's not an exhaustive list of RV resources that are out there. That would take forever. But this is a handful of resources that I think are often overlooked that are extremely helpful for RVers. So let's dive right into the list. And the first one I have for you is Ryan Hall-Y'all's YouTube channel. And this is a YouTube channel that's dedicated to weather, giving you quality weather for the entire United States. It does a great job of giving you the big picture. We can pull up an app and look at the weather channel and look at the weather that's going to be in that specific area, but oftentimes as RVers, we're moving across the country, we're traveling great distances, and getting a bigger picture of what's happening across the country is very important. And so he gives you these weather updates for severe weather that might be going from the west side of the country and heading over to the east, or you might have a tornado threat in a certain area. He gives you a really good picture, an outlook of what you're going to be looking at, so you might need to change plans, or you might want to change your route so that you miss some of these storms. This is a really good resource for getting that big picture and knowing exactly what's going to happen. So just to be clear, what this is his YouTube channel doesn't do like a daily kind of forecast for everything across the United States, but he covers the large weather pattern that's going to be happening. And he has two channels. So the main channel, these videos are edited with tons of information packed into them. The extra channel gives you kind of a quicker update. So the way that this has helped us during RVing, because that's the important part here, is we were able to delay going into an area one time based off of seeing what we saw in this. Rather than just seeing, like I said, in those apps where you can pull up local weather, this gave us the bigger picture to know to go into an area later. And a tornado went through that he was talking about. This area is going to be a high-risk area. We stayed 250 miles away. And the area that we were going to go into, had we not watched his video, there was a tornado that went 6 miles from where we were going to stay with the RV. So it would have been really close to home. I don't enjoy tornadoes in an RV. It's just not a good mix. We also just made a long trek across the country, around 1,600 miles, and we timed it in between these weather patterns. Being able to watch his channel and see what the weather pattern was doing, we were able to avoid some high winds and large storms just by delaying a couple of days to be able to miss the weather and have better weather for that trip. So we didn't have to deal with it for multiple days in a row with bad weather. It was very helpful. The other thing that he does, along with a couple other people on YouTube, is they'll do live streams during severe weather outbreaks. So if there's tornado or hail expected that's going to be significant in an area, they'll get on there and they'll watch the radar. They have storm chasers that they follow, and they put all that information together. So you're not trying to look for what's the best weather source in this area. As you're traveling around, you're new to that area, it's going to be a good weather source. Now, we still use highway weather to be able to track it along our route for the specific time that we're going to be doing. That's a great resource too. And we still do use apps for finding out what the highs and lows for where we're going to be. But this is probably one of the better resources that I've found that gives us an understanding of the weather on a broader scale as we're traveling around. So really, it's a great resource. The next one I have for you are cat scales. Cat scales aren't anything to be afraid of. It's easy to go in. You can pull up the app. You don't even have to talk to anybody. You can weigh once or twice. So as we pick up more equipment, maybe over the winter you picked up more equipment, or more equipment as you're going through the camping season and you're adding that onto the RV, it might be a good time to weigh and see if you've made any changes that maybe you need to move some of that weight around or get rid of some weight that's on the RV. Knowing what your RV weighs and how close you are to the maximum allowable that you can have for your setup is very crucial for being safe on the road. So don't be afraid of cat scales. Be able to get in there, weigh, and get done. And a scale that I did pick up that is really helpful for using on a travel trailer is having one that you can put on the tongue of the travel trailer and weigh how much tongue weight you're going to have on your vehicle. So this one that I picked up is really easy. You can just put all that weight right on the scale and you can get that number real easy. So as you're loading at home, it's really simple to do. This one came from eTrailer. It's a great little scale. You can even put it on the bottom of your tongue jack. So it's pretty versatile on how you can use it on a travel trailer. It comes in really handy. But for weighing your complete RV, going to a cat scale is just so easy to get in, get out, get the information, and know exactly where you stand. I'll put a link down in the description to everything that we're talking about today, like the scale from eTrailer, and I'll put a link to the video that I did about going to a cat scale, the numbers that you need to pay attention to, and just how easy that process is. You might be wondering why cat scales made this list. They're not new, they're not a novelty, and they're not the perfect solution for weighing your RV, being able to weigh the individual tires like you can at an escapee's place. But the thing that cat scales have going for them is they're easy, they're accessible, and they do give you good information. Not be as perfect as going to an escapee's place, but they're definitely a lot more available out there so you can go and get that good information and see how you are with the RV. So my thought process here is don't bypass the information that you can get now that's readily accessible for waiting long-term for the perfect. Both can be a good resource. Now this next one is great if you have a passenger inside the RV as you're driving, because it's an app that you can pull up as you're driving and see what the next exit or what the next exits hold for you. So if you're looking for a rest stop, you can see what's ahead of you. If you're looking for a fuel stop, you can see what's out in front of you. It'll even put some prices in there. If you're looking for a place to eat, it'll give you those options of what's in front of you rather than just trying to look for a radius like you do usually in Google Maps or something like that. You want to see what's in front of you, what's not going to be too far off the road to be able to get to and utilize. So really handy app using Ixit. It's a pretty simple app that's been around for a long time, but gives you that information of what's in front of you so you know where you want to exit or how far you want to go to that next rest stop. Very, very handy to have. When it comes to apps, there are tons of apps for RVers to be able to use. So I'll put a link down in the description to the video that we talked about. A lot of the apps that we use for finding locations to get out there, like Campendium, The Dirt, All Stays, all those things are going to be down in that video. I don't want to go over that again, but great resources packed inside so many of those apps. Now I mentioned that Ixit will give you some fuel prices, but it's not usually our go-to for finding the fuel prices along our route and finding the best fuel prices that are out there. We often use Gas Buddy, we'll use Mudflap. You can save some money using Mudflap. That'll help you save just a little bit when you're going to some of these truck locations for getting a discount on the diesel fuel. But then there's also Open Roads, and I think Open Roads gives you the best discount for getting diesel fuel with your RV at the truck stops. If you're going to be going to these truck stop locations and they usually have a higher price than the typical fueling stations around you, why not get that discount? It's definitely a good way to be able to save money. It's a great resource for RVers to be able to get a discount for going to these trucker locations. Now this next one is one that I think got a little overshadowed when I talked about it in a video that I did about the NRVTA, because I went and did the course in person, but they also have a home course, and that home course covers so much of what you have in that in-person course. You don't get the labs and stuff, but you can create your own labs, and it's pretty impressive how much they cover inside that home course that they cover in the class. So if you wanted to look at your multimeter and know how to use it better and not be intimidated by it, or fix things on your RV and not have to go to the dealership and spend money or waste time with your RV at the dealership, it's a great resource to help you along the way so that you can do these small repairs and get back on the road cheaper and quicker than you ever could than if you called up the RV dealership. It's a really good resource, and you can kind of create your own labs as you're going through the course, and they're telling you how to use your multimeter on the AC unit. Climb up there and use it on the AC unit. That's basically what you're doing in the class. It's not going to be accredited at home, but you're going to get that same knowledge or similar information for being able to work on your RV. And I think that's the key and the point of that home study course, is just to be able to give you that information so that you can be more confident with your RV and waste less time at these dealerships. Like I said, there's going to be a link down in the description to everything that we talked about, so that course is going to be down below. That course is definitely less expensive than if you go and do the in-person accredited course. Now, this is just a small list of resources that I think are sometimes overshadowed or overlooked that are really good resources for RVers. Being able to know the weather, what's happening across the country, and avoid some of that severe weather if you need to change plans, or being able to know what your RV weighs, or being able to work on your RV in general. I think these are just really good resources to be able to have in your back pocket as an RVer. I'd love to know what you guys use as resources for RVers. What do you pass on to your friends and family? I'd love to hear that down in the comments down below. What do you use that's just a great resource for RVing? So I think that's going to do it for today. I hope this small list helps you guys out and helps you enjoy the RVing experience even more. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RVing, hit that subscribe button. If we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video. Wow, that bird was loud.